everybody loved, and I mean, they couldn't say enough about the location of the property.
I love what you said, which was you couldn't find a reason not to buy this place, right? Like
it was hard.
Yeah,
it was actually hard.
That's how you know you found something, right? Like, because when I look at a property, it's always like, okay, why would I not buy this place? Like, what am I missing here? And then you go through and go through and go through. You can't find anything. You hit on the hard data, right?
Yeah.
Everything checks out there: population growth, fundamentals, etc. You visited the property a couple weeks ago. Tell us the subjective side, the anecdotal side. What'd you see? What'd you feel?
Yeah,
when you were there?
so I went with John. John's very, I don't want to say pessimistic. He's very cautious, like insanely cautious. That motherfucker was trying so hard to find shit wrong, like so hard. And you know, we found some stuff that was up for questioning. And then when we found the answer, it was no longer a question. So, you know, subjectively, what we ended up finding was the majority of people that are tenants in the property are women. So about 70 to 80% are women. The majority of those women work in the healthcare industry, which is great. Every single tenant that I talked to in the property, I've actually never had this happen, not once. When I was viewing properties, when I've owned properties, like never once has this happened, where every single tenant loved where they were, loved the property and felt safe, and loved the submarket and felt safe. Everybody loved, and I mean, they couldn't say enough about the location of the property. So it kind of, and me seeing all of the submarket data, I'm sold on it. I get it. I can see why, objectively, why they would love it, because you're so close to downtown. You're so close to employment. You're also far enough out of downtown where rent is not nearly as expensive as it is in the downtown core, but you're also on a bus route that goes right downtown, right direct, but you're also a 5-minute drive from downtown. You're within 30 seconds of multiple major arteries in the area. So I get it. I could see that on the maps, and when I was doing my due diligence and stuff like that on the submarket.
It's like
but
a sweet
to hear
spot.
it, but to hear it from the tenants is like
confirms it.
Confirms it.
You love it.
Exactly. And then to hear from the tenants that they love everybody that works that lives there, which is huge, and they feel safe, very safe in the submarket, and they feel safe on the property. That's huge, man, because you've seen this when we were in Miami before. You know, when you're talking to tenants, you want to, you also want to speak to the right tenants, right? You want to speak to, I love speaking to, women in the area. And the reason why is because they're going to feel the most unsafe or safe over men, right, in the area. So speaking to these young women and getting their feedback that they love the area, they love the building, they love the safety of the area, they love the safe feeling of the property is huge, man. It's huge. I wasn't expecting as much positive feedback from a property because I've never gotten that much positive feedback. I spoke to 22 of the 23 tenants, and of those 23 tenants, I didn't get one fucking negative. The only thing I got negative about the property was the lack of lighting in the units. So when they refurbished the units, they didn't, install pot lights, or they didn't install track lighting or anything like that. All they did was, and these units are huge. That's the problem too. The units are huge, and all they have is one bulb and a fan. Wrong idea. So that's actually somewhat of, I'm going to look at that as a small value add to really brighten up the units and open them up really. Because when you walk in, the lights are on. Those are big units. They should be lit up, right?
Agreed,
so we walk in there, we throw some large track lighting that might only be a couple $100 per unit. Get those new tenants in there. You might even be able to pop the rent a bit because of it.
Yeah. And keep them happier, a little bit happier.
100%. And then another thing that we're probably going to do is add like a small barbecue area. All we got to do is add I don't know if people have ever seen what they do a lot in Phoenix is they install they drive poles into the ground and just add almost like a cool kind of it's almost like a triangle thing where they attach each corner to these 3 poles that are in the ground, and it's kind of like off center. It looks kind of cool.
Okay,
it's very modern. You know what I'm talking about?
What you mean, yep.
And throw a fucking barbecue underneath it.
Love
That's
it. Yeah.
That's it.
Simple.
It's very simple.
Yeah.
And then that's really all that in terms of amenities. That's all that these people are looking for.
Yeah, so a couple $1,000s of investment, change the vibe of the whole place.
Exactly.
Tick the rent up a little bit.
Exactly.
Pay for it over a year or two.
100%
maximum.
Yeah. Maybe and you'll be able to you'll be able to get $20 something or whatever the case is, and then it will probably add even like a valet garbage service, which is not hasn't been established yet. So for $20 extra a month, we'll come in and valet your garbage for you.
And then
another thing we're probably going to look at as well is bulk internet service. The majority of the demographic is pretty young. So we're going to look at a bulk internet provider to come in, run internet instead of everybody running their own internet. We're going to get like a Comcast or whatever, run bulk. We'll get the discount on the bulk. They'll pay a little bit extra. We might be able to make an extra $10 a month on rent.
Boom. There's increase in the value
of
the property.
That's a huge value add.
Income.
It's huge, right? So you're not looking at millions of dollars, but you're looking at, you might be able to increase a property by, a couple $100,000.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
100%.
Things, yeah.
And this is a type of demographic that's open to that.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's why we love commercial real estate.
Exactly. And you might even be able to get better servicing because you're buying in bulk. So everybody wins, right? You might be able to get like, gigabyte download speeds versus like your fucking bullshit, 500 megabyte download speed, right? Because we're buying in bulk. So they're going to get better service.
Yeah.
And we're going to be able to make the margin on it. So it's huge.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, love the subjective and objective combination. I always want to have both, right? I can look at numbers and go to the property and be like, this place is disgusting, right?
Yeah, no.
So it hits on both those. Everything's brand new, gutted to the studs.
Lower than the studs. They ran new plumbing. So every unit has its own laundry, which is huge, right?
Massive. In-suite laundry. We love that.
In-suite laundry. Yeah. So they did everything, man. Like they tore walls down. Like the roofs were done. Like it has all new mechanical. This is huge. It
means that our capex here is going to be
very low,
as low as you can get for years to come.
So we're paying. The key here is the reason why I like this type of property. You're paying for a product that is arguably a new build, but you're not paying new build costs.
Yes. If this was new construction, what do you think the cap rate would be?
Well, the cap rate would be what the market is. It'd be 412. So if you run the number on something like that,
I think it might even be lower than the average.
Well, it's actually so interesting enough. Give me a fucking. What did you do here? Find? Is that what you did here?
Command spacebar.
That's what it is. So, I mean, I would argue that. I mean, the what is the NOI 328 as it sits right now, divided by 4.
0412.
04, yeah, that's what it is. Whatever, it's lower. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it'd be millions.
It'd be millions. Yeah, you're probably in the 7s, maybe 8s.
And then your
even.
cash flow would, the rents might be higher, but your cash flow would be lower. Your percentage returns would be lower. Blah blah blah.
100%.
So like, you want to be buying in that sweet spot, right?
Yeah.
And same with right now. If you go to buy new construction, and even single family residential, it's the worst deal.
Yeah.
What's the best deal is your 2, 3, 4, 5-year-old property that's got a little bit of depreciation already built in.
100%.
Blah blah blah. So
another thing, another interesting factor as well here. If you're a new build, you're stick framed. Okay, this is not stick framed. This is all concrete. Your concrete flooring. This is a tenant-proof property.
People need to take note of this.
That's huge.
I don't want stick frame 26 units. I don't want stick frame anything long term. Right? I'll hold it for 1 to 5 years. And then I'm selling it to the next bidder. I've got clients and friends that live in stick frame construction. You can hear everything. What do you think happens when the temperatures freeze and then warm up? The wood expands and contracts and expands, and it gets creepy.
You can hear you can hear your neighbors and all that kind of shit. Like this, all the flooring is concrete. It was all polished concrete, polished stained concrete. So you're not changing floors when tenants leave. Huge, man. Like that's probably the biggest expense that I see in my personal portfolio is when tenants leave the fucking flooring. Like all the time, man. All the time. And nobody wants carpet. So, carpet's kind of easier to clean, but nobody wants it. So now you got now you got laminate or you've got tile, but they're busting the tile, they're scratching up the laminate like crazy. Like I've seen some crazy shit in my day, like crazy shit where we laid some like industrial hardcore laminate and people just fuck it right up. And I don't even understand how it even almost happens. Like I don't understand like what these people are doing.
I got a picture from one of my tenants the other day where he just laminate, whatever. He's rolling his office chair over and over again on the laminate, and now it's falling apart, right?
Really,
He sends me a picture. I'm like, can you just put like a mat underneath your chair or something? But same deal. The property's 2 years old, right?
Really,
he's only been there for a year. So same idea. I love the tenant-proof stuff there.
Yeah.
Concrete floors.
Yeah.
They're not going to get worn down.
No.
They probably just put a little coating on it or whatever.
I don't even know that it's necessary.
Yeah.
Like, it might not even be necessary. Like, even to throw a coating down is like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.